The Adrian Dominican Sisters welcome you to a presentation of a sister story. I am Sister Peggle Flynn, and today we're having a conversation with our Sister Jenny Fajardo. Is that correct?
Fajardo.
Fajardo. And Sister Jenny is coming to us from the Philippines. So let us just sit back and enjoy listening to her story and how she got to be here as an Adrian Dominican sister. So welcome, Jenny. This time is yours. And let's begin where you began. I think you were born in Bacolor, Pampanga. Not that I know where that. I'll let you go on. You just tell us about your early life and your schooling and all of that. So it's all yours.
Thank you for having me here, Sister Peg. I was really excited when Sister Raquel asked me. Okay, I said I was hesitating at first, but later on she said it's good, especially that now me and Maurice are celebrating our silver jubilee.
Ooh,
I think it's really beautiful. Yeah, it's really beautiful to share.
And it's your gift to us. It's your gift to us. Yeah.
Yes. And hope also because I'm the one working for vocation here in the Philippines. So in a way, I said, if my life story could inspire more young women to join us, I would love to share my story.
Wonderful.
Anyway, yeah. So my full name is Jenny Pingul Fajardo. So, however, my real baptismal name is Henara.
Henara.
Yeah, Henara. That's why in some old documents we have in the congregation, my name is Jenny Henara Pingul Fajardo, because my baptized name is really Henara. It's because the midwife who assisted my mom in giving birth to me is the one who registered me. So she thought I better make the name for Henara modern, as she made it Jenny. Because the midwife, the midwife is actually the younger sister of my mom. So the youngest, not the youngest, but the youngest sister. They are four sisters. So she named me, she had me registered Jenny. Actually, I was baptized just like 12 days after I was born. So my parents didn't know that my aunt registered me differently. Anyway, so I it was really when I became a sister that I really drop off the name, because the for documentation we need to have the one that is registered. So I began to use Jenny. Actually, even my grandparents who were in the US earlier, back when I had my first profession, when the Sister Yoli was giving out the souvenir, she said, this is from your granddaughter, Sister Jenny. Who's Jenny? He said, because they knew me as
cute.
Anyway, yes, to continue with my story, as I grew up with 3 boys, and then another boy after me, and then the youngest is also a sister. Now, the youngest. Yeah. Okay. We're two religious in the, and actually among the siblings we're 2, because I had 2 other more religious in the family. The youngest brother of my dad is a MSc priest, and then the youngest sister is a Carmelite nun.
Wow, okay, wonderful.
That's the background where I grew up. I think I was 1 year old when my aunt had her final vows, and I saw a picture of me during her final vows. So in a way, looking back, it's like, that an innocent child seeing this profession, you never know how the vocation was started. Wonderful. Because after only seeing those pictures, because I wasn't really that aware that I was there during her final vows in the Carmelite sisters, that I realized, okay, I think, because if I look back into my own journey, I was really I was as young as I think 4 years old
Wow.
in front of my, we were six in the family. That's a big family, isn't it? We're
Yes,
six
yes.
with my parents. So in front of them, I was around 4 years old. I stepped on top of the table and I said, when I grow up, I want to be a nun. I
Oh,
said that because English language has been a part of me since growing up because
okay.
I grew up with Sesame Street. I think you
Did
know
you
Sesame.
really? Uh-huh.
Yes, so we had Sesame Street. So growing up, so I was so, and then I grew from a town where in Angeles City is one of the first city of Pampanga. The reason why is we had the U.S. military base, the Clark Air Base. So even my dad worked in the when I was a kid. I think I was still in grade school then, or in the primary school. That my dad was working in the airbase as a taxi driver. Taxi driver. So that's why we in Angeles City in a way have the melting pot of cultures.
Okay.
So and then also the instruction in the school back then was in English. Uh,
Interesting.
I studied in a public school, so my primary school was in the public school because it's near our house. We just walk going to the school. So I spent 6 years in that school, and then I had my secondary schooling and collegiate schooling in a university. It's a Catholic university in Angeles City, run by one of the rich family in Angeles City. So in a way that gave me a background of a culture, not just typically Kapampangan, but one thing that's also very very cultural in us, that I grew up being raised as equals.
Okay.
Imagine having three boys before
Yes.
you. The tendency they will command you. You mean the typical thing that you hear stories about in the families in the Philippines, that the poor young girl would surely be the servant of all, something like that. But it didn't happen to me because my parents were so conscious in having us equally treat each other equally. So we had
That's wonderful. Uh-huh.
uh, in terms of chores, we had our own chores to do, our own tasks to do. So so all of us grew up knowing how to cook. I think
One
that's one trait of Kapampangan is most of us, they say, I'm not to be so proud that we're good cooks.
good. That's
So
wonderful.
even
It's
my
a gift.
brothers,
Uh-huh.
yeah, even my brothers were able to be good cooks like
Hmm.
that. So and then in the other things that I remember in the family were in the most memorable ones. Again, because of these boys in my life, I had the adventures in my life because starting mo from kite making into kite flying, and then roaming around, going to the creeks and the fields, uh, catching frogs for dinner, and then also the watching turtles waddles on the creek, and the most dangerous one was seeing a snake swiftly crossing a creek. Anyway, that was in a way, for me, it gave me so much joy. Remember recalling back, even
Yes.
when we gather now as grown-ups, those are the fun times that we remember really.
That's nice. That's nice. Where do your brothers live now?
My brothers now are two are in Pampanga,
Okay.
and then one is in Manila, and then
Okay.
the second eldest one passed away very early at age
Oh,
25, very young.
oh my.
But
Yes.
he has two children, so they are grown ups now, and then one has already two children. So in a way, but Yeah, very young. He passed
That's
away
nice.
very young.
So you had a wonderful family, a beginning. Your faith, was very strong as a child and growing up in your family. Yeah, that's good. And so you went to school, and you went to high school. Where did you get
Yes,
your
I went.
what? You've already had your vocation since you were one. God already started to call you.
Yeah, at 1 year old, and then he made me express it at 4 years old, and then at I think it was third year high school, in secondary schooling, that I met the Benedictine
Okay.
sisters. So I was invited by my, because the route that I did during those time was school, church, home, just the
Oh,
three. I was just going around those three, and then in the church, early on I was already active as a Legion of Mary. So I was 10 years old when I joined the Legion of Mary, and then in high school I we had this charismatic group, because during those times
mhm.
it was the charismatic groups who really invited young people. And then it was in preparation for the visit of the Pope in 1995. So 1985, 10 years before that, they gathered, all the youths were gathered together.
Okay.
So I was one of those who were in the core group of those youth that prepared for the World Youth Day, the coming of the Pope in the Philippines. So in a way that really also strengthened my vocation after, because of that group, I met the one who invited me for the session with the Benedictines.
Okay.
So I was able to, oh, this is how vocation is, because I have an aunt, but I didn't have that idea. Okay, I will be a nun, something like that, or I will, religious life is like this. No, because I was visiting, my aunt is a cloistered nun. So unlike me, I go home monthly. When I was in Pampanga, I can go home monthly. But my aunt was a cloistered nun, so she could not really go home. And then even during their older times, it was stricter for them. They could not easily
Right.
go out.
Uh-huh.
That's why. But because of that exposure, I came to see that I wanted to embrace religious life. After that searching, it became clear for me what religious life is. Of course, the first person I would talk it out with, of course, was my aunt.
Good. Good.
So
Uh-huh.
I told my aunt, I said, Aunt, I said, I met these sisters and they are inviting me. I think I want to be a sister. I said, my aunt told me, oh, better finish your high school first.
Good.
I said, because I was just third year high school that
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So I finished high school and then come again. So I continued with schooling, being active in the church, being a catechist already, and then
Yeah.
being a youth leader. And then third year college, I met this time around the Franciscan sisters. So this time around, oh my gosh, Franciscan, they were so close to my heart because I love nature.
Right.
And with the
Right. Uh-huh.
adventures I had with my brothers,
Yes.
and then
Yes. Uh-huh.
my own parents, if you would see our home in Pampanga, in Angeles City, you would really see it's full of trees,
Okay.
even up to this day.
Mm-hmm.
We have all different plants and trees in our own small backyard in the heart of the city. So you would really see all the birds are in our garden. So with that background, I was drawn to the Franciscan sisters. But I had a search and I had a praying, I had a search. When it came to the living in, oh my gosh, some schedules were really in the way.
Got it.
I suddenly I have to do this. I'm very sorry, sister, I could not come. I said, and next time again, I need to help my mom to do this, so I could not come again.
So
Oh
you're
my
making
gosh.
excuses?
Yeah, maybe God made excuses for me, not or else
Yes. Yes.
I would have entered the Franciscans because I was already third year college, It's just
Okay.
another year I will be done with my college life. So but then God had other plans. So I got more involved in the work of the church. So this time around, I was already going into prison ministry,
Oh,
visiting
okay.
sick, yes, because the group that I joined in, the Life Giver group, the charismatic group, they had this ministry. Even up to this time, they continued with that ministry of visiting the sick, also the prisoners.
Prisoners. Good.
So, yeah. After that, as a catechist, that's how I met Sister Zenaida.
Okay. Oh, what a
Yeah,
blessing.
I met
What
Sister Zenaida as a catechist. We had seminars, the archdiocesan, because I was active in the parish and in the vicariate. So the vicariate was invited to have a seminar with Sister Zenaida for the archdiocesan level. So with that archdiocesan level, I met Sister Zenaida, and then I was after that was before I graduated in college. But after I graduated
Jenny,
in college,
Jenny, can I just
yes.
interrupt for a second? There's some people who are watching this who don't know who
Oh,
Sister Zenaida is. So could you just briefly tell us what order she was so people can follow your going around to different congregations? Just a little bit about Zenny. Yeah.
yeah, Sister Zenaida has been a leader of the Remedy Sister back then when we have not yet merged
Right.
with the
Right.
Adrians. So
Yes.
she was at the time the prioress of the congregation, but she was the one in charge of the movement
Okay.
in the archdiocese. She has been involved in a lot of the work of the diocese, but at the same time, she has been a leader. I think four times the prioress of the
Yeah.
Remedy Sister.
But
And then she was also the one who started the merge with the Adrian sisters.
she was a Dominican sister, so that was another congregation that you became aware of because you've mentioned a couple other congregations, but that's how you became a
Yes,
Dominican. Okay. Okay. I'm
yes,
sorry for
because
interrupt. Yeah. You
no,
can
it's
go on.
okay.
You can go on.
I'm just so excited. Uh,
Well, we like your enthusiasm, right? So then you
so
entered, and then your ministerial life. We're kind of skipping over because of time, but then you
uh-huh.
became a Dominican. Go on.
Yes. So when I entered the Dominican Sisters, because after meeting Sister Zenaida, so I saw that the charism of the after searching. Actually, it took me around 2 years before I
Right,
entered
right. That's good.
because I had to work. So when I entered, I was accompanied by two other sisters, Sister Marisa and Sister Lettingham. So that was another blessing in a way to really be able to embrace religious life, journeying with these two person, and then seeing how God works in our life. So imagine from there up to until in the end, the three of us from formation, we became formators ourselves.
Okay,
And then,
wonderful.
yeah, aside from formation work, I was mostly ministering as a finance officer.
Oh,
I've
really?
been in a
Okay,
treasurer. Yeah, the 25 years of my life has been almost being a treasurer. So
okay.
I've been in school handling finances of school. So there were just two ministries that were different, but I think when I look back as to the most significant of all the ministries that I had, it was these two different ministries. The first one was when I served with the special children.
Okay.
So we minister to special children. So imagine me who had been always been working with numbers
Yes.
suddenly go down so deep down uh, to really be able to minister to these special children. And it really, I think the most that's why I said that's really very meaningful for me is these are children. You just in terms of intelligence, they are challenged. But once you are able to teach them how to cook, because that's what I love to do. So in a way, some of these who were able to equip them how to cook, it's really equipping them also in life.
Wonderful,
I think
beautiful
that's
ministry.
why I found that very meaningful. And then the other one, of course, is the ministry in Norway. The language, the culture was very challenging. But I think that's the point in my life that really made me, open up and really grow.
Wonderful.
It's like, oh my God, if you have reached the high point of the of our life. It was when I was able to embrace a new culture and then especially learn the language.
So you
That's
spoke a
how,
different language over there in Norway. And how
yes,
long did you stay in Norway?
almost 3 years.
Okay.
Almost 3 years. But afterwards, on the third year, my mom got sick. She was a US citizen, so I had to be with her almost 3 months in the US. And then
Oh,
I had to take her home. So I took her home permanently in 2015 and then got back for a short while in Norway, wrapped up the ministry, and then went back here in the Philippines.
okay. Okay. And your present ministry is what?
Now I'm doing finance again.
Oh,
So I was asking actually after Norway, it was another school work, a finance work, a school treasurer again. That was for 4 years. But I had, the most challenging part of my life. In 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
oh,
So I underwent the operation, had the chemo. Uh, it was like, um, the gospel, I mean, the scripture that was so alive in me that made me survive was the story of Job.
okay.
God has given, God has taken away, blessed be God.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, and then looking back as to how I survived it is that grace of God, of that inspiration and disposition, the positive disposition actually. It was that positive disposition
Yes.
of
Yes.
looking at the grace of God, trusting completely in God. Because after every chemo, if you are aware of how it goes through, oh my
No, I'm
gosh,
not.
you're like that.
Yeah.
For 3 days, you're like that. And then if you don't have that strong will, because even I could not swallow a meal, I will sit down for an hour just to eat a meal so that, to strengthen me. And that made me really survive.
Your
That's
positive attitude and your faith.
yes.
And Job.
And yeah, Job. Of course, people were inspiring
Right,
me
right.
during the time. Even my aunt, Sister Zenaida, all the other sisters, the love of the sisters.
Mhm.
It was one request that I did that time is I said, please don't take me to the mother house. I don't want to be labeled as a very sick person. I just want to be here. But I asked the sisters, we were three in the ministry. I said, will you have me here? I said, you don't have to watch me. I said, I'll just be here. Okay. I'll still be the treasurer. I'll sign the checks and everything, help you in the finances. I said, so just don't let me be, just go down because it will really depress me and everything.
Yes, yeah.
And that really helped me also.
So they were very
And of course,
significant. Yeah.
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 And the one that you see in my background,
Uh-huh.
that was the other therapy. I began to paint. I'm not
Oh,
a painter.
they're
I'm
beautiful.
not a painter. I can draw, but
We're all
that's
painters.
a different
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
why, see,
Oh, I like
those
that
at my
colored
back,
one.
the
I like that.
butterfly and
Yeah.
the colorful ones,
Yes.
those were done during my chemotherapy. That one is on the process.
Very nice.
Those were
Very
done
nice.
later.
And your bird's up there and your butterfly. Hope. Hope. Oh, that is wonderful. So that was very hard for you, with Zenny dying. Yeah. Did you know Sister Marcine?
Oh, that's another one.
Did you
Oh
know
my
her
gosh.
when she was over
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Talking about significant sisters,
Yeah.
among the Adrian sisters, Sister Marcin is the one that's most significant for us three, Maris, Letiham, and myself, because we were novices when she visited the Philippines.
Okay. Okay.
And she's the most jolliest
Oh.
sister I've ever met.
Yes. Yes, she is.
Oh my,
She is.
her, I said, oh my God, this is really a joyful Dominican that, it really invites you to imbibe that jolliness in her. And that's why when I was able to join the last chapter in 2016, even it's so late, she will come up and then, of course, our enjoyable play of progressive rummy.
Oh, really?
That's
Good.
the one game he taught us in the Philippines that we never forgot.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. Well,
Our sister,
you'll be with us tonight at her wake, I'm sure. Did you
yes, yes.
Did you come here for Zenny's funeral?
No, we were just virtual.
Virtual.
Yeah, because if the chapter pushed through, we would have been there in the US because it was moved on a later date.
Yeah.
So it was Sister Yoli, Sister Weng, Sister Raquel.
That's right. I remember Raquel.
They were in the US that time. That's why we were so grateful that they were able to come.
Yes, we were too. Yeah.
Sister Zenaida is one the most significant among the Dominican Sisters of Our Lady of Remedies that I have met.
Yeah.
And then forever I will be indebted to her because the way she nurtured me from as a young aspirant to a young sister. I have concrete experiences of those that I will be grateful for life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to have to draw this to a close. You are absolutely delightful and so full of love and happiness and joy, even in sharing the sadness that you've had in your life. And your parents seem like they are very special people, very special.